I am Dr. Ajay Kumar, CCDC, Munger University. Earlier, uh, as you are aware, the university is closed or colleges having closed, classes are having suspended during the corona period. As per instruction, you stay home and be safe in this period. Physical class is not possible because we would have to maintain social distance as per the instruction of the government. So that's why we would have to stay home and be ourselves safe from the coronavirus. During this period, our Honorable Vice Chancellor has motivated the teachers to provide e-content through YouTube channel. In this endeavor, I am present before you. I will focus today. I will focus on theory of production. It is related to BA Economics Honors Part 1. And earlier we have uploaded the e-content related to indifference curve analysis. Although this topic is very big, so many questions are raised in this chapter, but I am concerned to the law of variable proportion today. First of all, before discussing the law of variable proportion, we would have to understand the production function. What is production function? What do you mean by production function? And what do you understand by production function? We should understand the meaning of production function. We can define production function as production function indicates the functional relationship between inputs and outputs, that is the maximum amount of output that can be produced with given quantities of inputs under a given state of technical knowledge. In the words of Richard H. Lefkowitz, the term production function is applied to the physical relationship between input of resources and its output of goods and services as per unit of time, leaving prices aside. Production function can be expressed algebraically in an equation in which the output is the dependent variable and inputs are independent variable. The equation can be explained as follows. Q is the function of A, B, C, D up to N, where Q stands for the rate of output of given goods and A, B, C, D up to N are different factors of production. Production function or law of variable proportion. The production function of a firm can be studied in the context of short period. or long period. Short period is that period of time which is too short for a firm to install a new capital equipment to increase production. It means that capital is a fixed factor in the short run and production function can be studied by holding the quantity of capital is fixed while varying the amount of other factors, labor, raw material, etc. It can be revealed symbolically as here under. Q is TKL. The production function can also be studied in the long run. The long run is a period of time in which all the factors of production are variable. In the long run, the firm can install even a new plant to increase production apart from increasing the unit of labor. The behavior of production when all factors are varied is the subject matter of law of returns to a scale. The law of variable proportion has been propounded on the basis of certain assumptions. These assumptions are as follows. It is related to a particular unit of time. The technological knowledge during that period of time remains constant. The entrepreneurs are using the best technical available. The factors of production are divisible into viable units. Explanation of law of variable proportion. The law of variable proportion or the law of diminishing returns examines the production function with one factor variable keeping quantities of other factors fixed. In other words, it refers to input-output relationship when the output is increased by varying the quantity of one input. This law operates in the short run when all the factors of production cannot be increased or decreased simultaneously. For example, we cannot build a plant or dismantle a plant in the short run. It is assumed that there is no change in the techniques of production. As production is expanded, that in the beginning the return increases and remains constant for a while and the diminishes in every industry, and it is also applicable in the agriculture. As per view of the modern economist, the behavior of output when varying quantity of one factor is combined with a fixed quantity of the others can be divided into three stages of the law of variable proportion. This law can be elucidated with a help of a table as follows. Before discussing the table, I would like to make distinction between the law of variable proportion and law of diminishing returns. Earlier, economists have propounded the law of diminishing return and they have explained the law of diminishing return is applicable in agriculture alone because he has explained the reasons for the applicability of the law of diminishing return in agriculture because the supply of land is inelastic. The supply of land cannot be increased in a short run. That's why law of variable. That's why law of diminishing returns only. The law of diminishing returns is applicable in agriculture only, but the modern economist has propounded the law of variable proportion, and they have assumed all factors of proportion is fixed or the supply of all factors of production is limited in the short run. That's why law of variable proportion is propounded, has been propounded by the modern economist. So this law can be elucidated. This law of variable proportion can be explained with the help of the table. Here we show the production schedule. Now, in this table we can see the quantity of labor, total product, average product, marginal product. We see as we imply the one quantity of labor, we get 100 total product, average product 100 and marginal product 100. As we imply second unit of labor, we get increased production, total production 200. Total production rises 200. As we imply 10 units of labor, we get total production 760. Total production is rising. So that's why with the 11 units of labor, we get 700 total unit 740. Total we can explain this table. Table 1 reveals that when 1 unit of labor is employed, the total product is 100 units. When 2 units of labor are employed, the total product rises to 210 units. The total product goes on rising as more and more units of labor are employed. With 10 units of labor, the total product rises to 760 units. When 11 units are employed, the total products fall to 740 units. We can see or we can examine the relation between average product and marginal product, because it is very remarkable. Both average and marginal products are derived from total product. Average product is obtained by dividing total product by the number of units of variable factor. Marginal product is the change in total product resulting from a unit increases in the quantity of variable factor. When we can show the relationship between average product and marginal product, it is very remarkable. We should notice here, when average product rises as a result of an increase in the quantity of variable input, marginal product is greater than average product. It will see in the diagram. It will be seen in the diagram. When average product is maximum, then marginal product is equal to average product. When average product falls, then marginal product is less than average product. These are the relation between average product and marginal product. On the basis of or law of variable proportion can be represented with a diagram. In this diagram we can see There are two axes here, O x-axis and O y-axis. On O x-axis, amount of variable factor is represented, and at O y-axis, output is represented. In this diagram, we shall notice TP curve. TP curve stands for the total production, AP curve stands for the average product, and MP curve stands for the marginal product. Earlier economists have discussed the law of diminishing return, law of constant return, and law of the increasing returns separately. But modern economists have analyzed the law of diminishing return, law of constant return, and law of increasing returns as dividing in three stages. This law of variable proportion can be explained with this diagram. We shall notice in this diagram there are three stages: a stage 1, a stage 2, a stage 3. We shall notice, we shall see in this diagram, in this first stage, total production is increasing up to F point, point of inflection. It is indicated in the table F. MP also rises and is maximum. Corresponding to F point, MP means marginal product rises and is maximum corresponding to F point, and average product goes on rising from F onwards. Total product goes on rising but at diminishing rate. MP falls but is positive. A stage first ends where AP reaches its highest point. We shall notice in this diagram, marginal product falls but is positive at S point. A stage first ends where average product reaches its highest point at S point. A stage second, in this stage, total product continues to increase at a diminishing rate until it reaches its maximum point H. We shall notice in this diagram the total production continues to increase at a diminishing rate until it reaches its maximum point H, where the second stage ends. It reaches at the highest point H, and where the second stage ends. In this stage, both marginal product and average product of the variable factor are diminishing but are positive. In second stage, marginal product and average product are diminishing but are positive. All the end of this stage at M point corresponding to highest point H of total product, marginal product of the variable factor is 0. Marginal product in second stage, marginal product becomes 0 at M point. Second stage is known as the stage of diminishing returns because both the average and marginal product of the variable factors are continuously fall during this stage. This stage is very important because the firm will seek to produce in this stage. In the thus in this stage in stage B, now we shall discuss stage 3. In this stage, total product declines, marginal product is negative, average product is diminishing. During the third stage is called the stage of negative returns, since marginal product of the variable factor is negative during the third stage. We have now we are able to understand the law of variable proportion and 3 stages of variable proportion. Now a natural question arises before us: in which stage a rational entrepreneur will seek to produce? It is a very simple question. I will explain it. In which stage a rational entrepreneur will like to produce? First of all, I would like to draw your attention towards the stage 1. A rational entrepreneur will never produce in stage 1 and 3. These stages are called stages of economic absurdity or economic nonsense. A rational producer will never produce in stage 1st, where the marginal product of the fixed factor is negative. In this stage, he will not be making throughout the best use of the fixed factor, and he will not be utilizing fully the opportunities of increasing production by increasing the quantity of variable factor whose average product continues to rise throughout stage 1st. Even if the fixed factor is free of cost, in this stage a rational producer will continue adding more variable factors. A rational producer will never produce in the stage 3, where marginal product of the variable factor is negative. This being so, a producer can always increase his output by reducing the amount of variable factors, even if the variable factor is free of cost. A rational producer stops before beginning of the third stage. A rational producer will always produce in stage 2, where AP average product of the variable factor are diminishing, at which particular point in this stage the producer will produce depend upon the prices of the factors. Thank you to all having this lecture. You are staying home and you are incurring academic loss. During this period, Munger University or our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ranjit Kumar Barma, has motivated the teacher to make up the academic loss of bachelor students and PG students. He has given instruction to the teachers to upload, to provide e-content in every subject. Under his stalwart leadership, Munger, the teachers, most of the teachers are uploading e-content in every subject. I appeal to the students staying home. You can access the e-material related to your subject, related to your syllabus. If you are involved in competitive examination, you can make preparation of your competitive examination and bachelor or PG classes simultaneously by accessing the e-contents from the YouTube channels of Munger University. We can repeat this uh, law